always a bit slow when I press go live. Fab, we're live. Hi, everyone, and welcome to Online Events Made Simple. Bit of a later time today, so thanks to everyone who's joining or listening on demand. I'm Rianne, and I'm the Marketing and Events Manager at EventMind, and today we're joined with Savanna Grant. Savanna, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello, everybody. So yeah, as Rianne said, I'm Savanna. I've been in the events industry for about 9 years now, since I was 15. And I've done quite a few roles within events, trying to work my way up to become, say, a great industry professional. So I started off in events working at like hotels and doing casual work on the side alongside university. So I did obviously like bar work, waitressing, just to gain experience with how an event, works from, say, a catering point of view and whatnot. So, and then I eventually started doing coordination for like smaller events like birthday parties, weddings, christening, stuff like that. And then I eventually wanted to pursue corporate events. So I got like my dream role pretty much at the ICC in Birmingham. So I did a lot of corporate events there. And it was just like a different scenery, and I absolutely loved it. And then obviously then COVID hit, unfortunately. So I feel like with COVID, it gave me time to really sit down and think about how I wanted to pursue events and, which areas to look at. So that I could eventually specialize in probably like a specific area. So that's what I've been doing, recently, and it's been great. It's been great to get to know myself and to gain more knowledge within the events industry.
Yeah, definitely. And it's actually always really interesting to hear how people kind of got into the industry. So like you said, you kind of worked your way up. I think many people kind of either fell into the industry or, like you said, started kind of at bar work during university or college and then kind of worked your way up. I bet as well, going from that to corporate has been so different.
It's been very different.
Yeah, how did you find that? Because I was literally having a conversation yesterday saying to people, the audience is so different and the things that they want, again, is so different.
I think, to be honest, I don't even know, like, because with events, yes, like the planning stages are pretty much the same, and it's still like the same. It has to be still organized and everything. But I don't know. I think with obviously the corporate events, you got to be more like on the ball and a lot more professional, because obviously they expect a lot more because their budgets are usually like bigger than, say, like a smaller private event, so they expect like quite a lot out of you, especially if you're like a well-known venue, like they do expect quite a lot, but it's just a case of just going in there, just be yourself and just just listen to what they have to say and just try to accommodate as much as possible. But
yeah, definitely. I think it's so strange, isn't it? Because like you said, the budgets they tend to be a lot higher for corporate. So, it really means business and you really need to cut down. That's a really good point. So I guess there's so many people out there now who's either wanting to get into events or they might be studying events. I know there's so many people now studying thinking, why am I doing this because of COVID and the pandemic? What advice would you have for people out there who are wanting to get into events or not sure how? Or with the pandemic, do you think they should change their career choice or just stick with it?
Definitely don't change the career choice. Like, if in the back of my mind, I have had my doubts as well in terms of events, but then I sit and think, I've been doing events since like the age of 15, and it would be strange doing something else. So I would say definitely carry on pursuing events. Like, there's just so much within the industry that you can learn and some of the experience you can gain, because a lot of people don't realize that a lot of industry professionals, they are very willing to give you the advice and to sit down with you and really help you. So I would never give up, guys. Like, even though at the moment it's a bit daunting in terms of getting a role within events, but just keep, always persevere, definitely push through the battle right now, because eventually you will come out winning. So just keep your head up and just just research and get your knowledge, and so eventually when you go into the interview you can just speak to them freely about events. So definitely keep going, guys.
Completely agree there. And I'm very open with the fact that I recently, actually, it was probably 2 years ago now, graduated from uni in events
Yeah.
management, and it was all great until obviously the pandemic hit last year, and I thought, oh my goodness, what do I do? And
Yeah.
then it really made me think, do I actually want to be in this sector where things, if this was to ever happen again, things are going
Yeah.
to close again? But I'm exactly the same as you. I think, you work at something and it just shows that you're really strong. And to be honest, I think the industry has got through the pandemic so far so well.
Brilliantly, yeah, they have.
Yeah, and so many people I've spoke to have actually said, although the pandemic wasn't a good thing, it's actually impacted the industry in a good way, because it shows that we're so resilient and so strong to kind of make it through the other end.
Exactly that, exactly. And I think that's, important, especially with events, because they're not easy. So you have to have that strong mind and that strong will anyway to be able to get through certain like battles. And obviously COVID is a big one. So, if you've got through COVID, you can get through anything. And if you're an events planner, bloody hell, you can get through anything too.
Yeah,
so yeah, absolutely.
I know it's been a weird year for everyone, and for everyone listening, thank you for tuning in live. If you do have any questions, feel free to pop them in the comments box and me and Savanna can answer them. But I kind of suppose, going on to the whole pandemic thing, how have you found attending virtual events? Because I think people kind of have mixed reviews, whether it's literally just a webinar you've attended or a full scale conference. How have you found kind of changing your mindset to attending virtual?
See, for my heart will always be with live events. Like live events give you a different kind of feeling that a virtual event could never ever give you. Like, if going to concerts or festivals, for example, I literally sing to my throat sore, I dance to my feet are sore, I sweat in place and I've sweat before. So, but a virtual event, it's just, they just can't give you that. And it's like the same for going for like conferences and exhibitions, like you walk around, you get your samples, you get your goodie bags, you get the marketing material, all these tangible things that you can hold and take away with you. But with, virtual events, yes, some organizers do like send out marketing material before the event so you can use it whilst the event's happening, but it's just not the same. It really isn't the same. But I do commend all those organizers who have been able to push forward and put a virtual event on the screen for other people to enjoy. And it's quite useful, because then it means literally anybody around the world can literally come and watch the event, but no, live events,
yeah and at least you're honest as well. I think many people have almost been kind of forced into virtual. I mean, we've all been forced into virtual. Some people have kind of started to really love them, and some people are still thinking live. But we've always said, like you said, people can attend from around the world. If you've got children, they can sit next to you now when you're on an event, opposed to having to travel throughout London or anywhere else. So yeah, I think at least you're honest. And there are benefits to both, I suppose. And just think how much money we're saving on the travel.
Exactly
at the moment.
And to be fair though, with having like virtual events and like hybrid events, say, it's been good, because with event organizers, you could boost your income from the ticket sales, because you can have like full capacity at the venue, and then even more people tuning in online. So it's kind of like a win-win, really. So yeah,
definitely. And obviously the roadmap came out last week in terms of things are slowly starting to trickle back through. Fingers crossed by June, things are going to be back to normal. But then again, they announced today with the furlough scheme being pushed back till September. So everyone's a bit up in the air. Where do you see things going in the next few weeks? Or months, should I say?
I'm just obviously hoping that things get better and carry on getting better, and that we don't go back into having another spike again. So I think, to be fair, because I've seen that a lot of events and festivals are sold out and are selling out quite quickly, because people are wanting, that they're yearning for being outside and dancing in a field. Like, people are ready for that. Like, we've been cooped up inside for far too long, and I really think that events, they're going to become back bigger, better and stronger. Event organizers, have had the time to really sit down and think, what can we do now that, events are coming back? What can we do now to really, push our sales and push and make the event better. So, events, they're going to be killing it. Like, they're going to be here, left, right, and center. It's going to probably get to the point where you're just probably annoyed because you're just going to hear music everywhere.
Yeah.
But you know what? I can't wait. I cannot wait. So, yeah, I think, but I don't think that virtual events or hybrid events will ever go away. Not anytime soon. I definitely think people are still going to continue using, those kind of streaming platforms like Zoom, because it's just very, very convenient. Like, you can save a lot of money from bringing like musicians and guest speakers to the conferences and concerts, and stream them online. So I definitely don't think that part's going to go away though.
Yeah, definitely. And how did you find it affect you personally? So did it affect your role at all? Things going virtual, has it impacted your side in like of the events, or did you find another role alongside this to kind of see you through?
Well, obviously for me, when I was at the ICC, I did get made redundant because obviously because of COVID. But I feel like I don't believe that it will affect me in any way. It just means that it's just another skill I'm gonna have to learn, which isn't, it's not awful. Like, it's always good to learn new skills. But obviously at the moment, I haven't really, pushed myself to look for any more events roles, because when you get, rejected so many times, it just, it does break a little bit. So for me, obviously I put events on the back burner, but with that time, like I said, I'm using it to gain more experience and understand events a lot more. So within this time, I will be definitely looking into virtual events and how I can go about, doing them comfortably, and with a lot of knowledge, because it's not easy. Tech is just not easy.
Yeah, I agree.
So, you would know. So yeah, it's definitely time now to get comfortable with virtual events, and so that you can hit the ground running when it's time to get back into the events industry. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Exactly, agree. And do you think there's enough information out there for people like you who, your whole background is based on live events? I mean, now, do you feel like there's enough for you to go away and teach yourself? Do you think there should be more training at maybe, say, universities or schools, or even just colleges, kind of on the side degrees or modules?
Personally, obviously I was at uni for like 4 years ago, so there was literally nothing about virtual events on my course. But I think going forward, I think definitely there will be. I don't think that it should be like a mandatory course or a mandatory module. I definitely think it should be the student's choice if they want to learn about virtual events, because you may never come across virtual events in your life. You may never have to plan a virtual event, because I still feel like live events are still going to be more dominant over virtual events. But I still think it should be a choice or an option, because like at universities and colleges they bring in a lot of guest speakers to speak about obviously either their company or a specific subject that lecturers don't really know much about. So I feel like there's going to be quite a bit of that, of guest speakers coming in, like yourselves, and coming to talk about how we can make a successful virtual event, and keep people motivated whilst they're on the computer and watching this virtual event. So I definitely think it's a good thing to introduce into colleges and universities.
Yeah, I completely agree. And the same as you, when I was at university, virtual events wasn't even mentioned, and it wasn't even a thing. So
exactly,
when I was at my live event role, but it must have been just over a year ago now, when people started mentioning virtual events, I remember thinking, this cannot be a thing. And then all of a sudden it kind of went from 0 to 100 really quickly.
Exactly.
So I agree. I think it should be definitely kind of an add-on if it's, I know in certain universities you have the option to take certain modules. I think so many people would be so interested to learn more about virtual, because other than the information out there, the blogs, the videos, why not start fresh from the universities and get people in from companies? I think that would actually be a really great experience for not only the university but the companies as well, who are trying to kind of build back up.
Because there is a lot of information like on Google, you know, but I feel like it would be better coming firsthand from a company who's actually successful in running and introducing virtual events. I think, you know, getting industry insight from a professional is so much better than just reading like an article on Google, you know.
Exactly. Yeah. And I went to Bournemouth University, and I recently held a guest lecture there about virtual events. And it was crazy to think that a lot of these students hadn't even heard of virtual events or wasn't being taught them during this pandemic. So I definitely think, you know, it's a talking point that so many people want to learn about, whether it's something you want to go into in the future, or whether you just have an interest in. I think they're always going to be around now. So why not introduce more kind of knowledge on that?
It's absolutely true. It's absolutely true, because you can never like learn too much. Like there's always something you can, you know, rack your brain about. Like there's going to be always something new, especially with the events industry. Like there's a lot of new things coming out, like technology. Like there's a lot of new things that we're going to have to, well, not have to, but that we might want to get to grips on, because whatever client comes now and asks for certain things, and you're like, what's that? So yes, it's good to, you know, continue learning and continue improving yourself and, you know, develop yourself. Absolutely.
Definitely. And especially with people like yourself who only have live event backgrounds, a lot of organizers come to us who only have live event backgrounds saying, you know, should we pivot to virtual? And a lot of the time we're saying yes, just so you're not left behind. Like you said, if a client comes to you and say, well, can we do this? You don't want to turn it down. You want to stay ahead of the curve and be aware. So I think it's really important, like you said, to always build on the knowledge, whether it's something you want to go into, always say you've got the knowledge there if people do come to you for advice, or a client comes to you, because think of the money you're going to lose out and potentially leave to your competitors.
Exactly. It's literally that. And that's the last thing you want, is for people to be like, for you to be turning away people, especially in this time. Like you want to be earning as much as possible, you know, to earn that in case money, because who knows what's going to happen next. So yeah, it's definitely important to just, you know, continue learning and understanding what's out there and what could potentially come.
Yeah, definitely. And do you have any advice for anyone who may be listening, whether that's graduates or students, or literally just people in the event sector kind of concerned about the next step? Do you have any advice for them? How have you got through the past year, nearly year?
Yeah. I think obviously there's no like right or wrong answer when it comes to how you should cope with something. You know, everyone deals with something in different ways. For me, the way I coped with it, not gonna lie, like I was very, very down for quite a long time, especially with the rejections from a lot of roles that I really thought I had experience, you know, to get the job. But, you know, I feel like it's okay to be, you know, sad and upset and down and not want to apply for any jobs or not want to, you know, do any research or whatever right now, like, you know, because it's just a horrible time. But I still definitely think, you know, just keep your chin up. Like better days are definitely coming. Like from the introduction of the roadmap, like we can see that things are improving, like the death rates are getting lower. And so and we've got the vaccine now, so
exactly,
like definitely improving. So just continue with, you know, continue like understanding what's going on in the world, and continue understanding about yourself and how you can manage, you know, stressful times like the pandemic. So yeah, like there's a lot of resources out there to help, you know, especially with mental health. So yeah, definitely just, you know, keep your head up, guys, you know, stay positive and just think about how, you know, things can get better, you know. It can't be like this forever.
Exactly. Yeah, no, completely agree. I think that's such a nice kind of way to end the podcast. That was such a nice point, and I completely agree. I know there are better times coming. You know, the roadmap's out. Fingers crossed, things will slowly start to go back to normal. Even just to be able to go back to a bar and have a drink.
Exactly.
But Savanna, it was so nice speaking to you. Where can people come and find you if they have any questions about your experience or just want to connect?
So yeah, I'm mainly on LinkedIn. Literally, my name is Savanna Grant, Savanna, and then Grant. I have a purple banner, so you shouldn't be able to miss me at all. So yeah, just connect with me. I'm very, very open and honest, and I'm always wanting, to gain new connections. So yeah, let's have a chat.
Lovely. Thank you so much for coming on today. And if you are listening live or on demand, do feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions about going virtual. My email is just rian@eventmindpro.com. And I'm also on LinkedIn, very active on LinkedIn. I'm just Rian Ferry. And if we have any women listening, International Women's Day is coming up on Monday, which is super exciting. And we are holding a 2-hour stream between 5 and 7 p.m. UK time. So come and tune in. We have some really inspiring women taking part, and we'd love to see you there. So speak to you all very soon.
Thank you very much, Rianne. Nice to meet you.